This episode of Techno Buffalo is brought to you by Dollar Shave Club. What's going on, guys? I'm Mark Linsengin from Techno Buffalo, and today we'll be taking a quick look and hands-on at this beautiful looking device, the HTC One E8, and see how it compares to its much more premium brother, the HTC One M8. The HTC One E8 is essentially the internals of HTC One M8 in a plastic case with a different camera. But beyond that, there's actually quite a few smaller differences between the two. The Singapore version we have here is running a slightly overclocked Qualcomm Snapdragon 801 processor at 2.5 GHz, though there's also a version that's available running at 2.3 GHz like the M8. It still has the same 2 GB of RAM and micro SD slot expansion, though the E8 only comes with a 16 GB internal storage. The One M8 obviously has a much more premium feel with its exterior aluminum casing, while the E8 has a polycarbonate back. It still has the same 2 GB of RAM and micro SD slot expansion, though the E8 only comes with a 16 GB internal storage. The One M8 obviously has a much more premium feel with its exterior aluminum casing, while the E8 has a polycarbonate back. Now, the One E8 doesn't offer an IR blaster unlike the M8, which is right inside its lock button. Instead, HTC opted to put in a somewhat premium looking brushed aluminum button at the top of the device. And personally, it looks great and it adds a nice touch to the phone, but it's still at the top of the device, which is a bit weird for our taste. Now, the camera on the HTC One E8 is a 13 megapixel shooter with a single LED flash, while the M8 has a dual lens 4 ultra pixel camera with dual tone flash. The screen is still that gorgeous 5-inch 1080p display that you're used to with the M8, and I'm glad that the boom sound speakers made it to this phone. I've always been a fan of the One's boom sound speakers, and that's one of the features I wish every phone had: front-facing speakers. Now, the HTC One E8 comes in 3 different flavors. 2 of them, which are glossy, comes in polar white and electric crimson, and the one we have here is called Misty Gray, and it has a nice matte finish to it. It reminds us a lot of the Moto X's soft touch material, which we really love. So let's take a quick break from this video to thank our friends at Dollar Shave Club. Buying razors suck, right? You gotta walk to the store, pick out a razor, and then shell out $20 for some ridiculous shave tech you don't even need. Fortunately, there's a company that's doing away with all this ridiculousness. It's called Dollar Shave Club, and it couldn't be any simpler. For a few bucks a month, Dollar Shave Club ships amazing razors and other bathroom stuff right to your door. Their blades are just as good as the big shave companies at a fraction of the price. They've also got Dr. Carver's Easy Shave Butter to make your shave even more buttery smooth. Shave time, shave money. Join now at dollarshaveclub.com/technobuffalo. And again, that's dollarshaveclub.com/technobuffalo. One word, technobuffalo. Now back to the video. Software-wise, it's running Android 4.4.2 KitKat with Sense 6.0 on top of it. It runs just like the M8 and everything feels buttery smooth. It's got the same launcher, the same software features like HTC's motion launch feature, or swipe to launch the blink feed or the home screen. And the camera software is the same too, of course without duo camera effects. Zoe's still present here, which is great, but it still outputs the final image to a 4 megapixel shot, which is somewhat disappointing. But if you want to always shoot in auto, the 13 megapixel shooter in the back won't disappoint. I find it actually better or on par with the M8's 4 ultra pixel camera in certain lighting conditions, but nonetheless they're both great cameras and they're good enough to post pictures on social media. But as much as the E8 is destined to live in the shadow of its bigger brother, the M8, it's a strong phone in its own right. Right now, HTC is targeting markets like China, Russia, and India with the E8, so there is no indication of any wider international launch. By no means is this a review, but just a quick hands-on and overview of the HTC One E8. But if you guys have any questions or want to see any other features in this phone, let us know in the comments down below. And as always, I'm Mark Linsengin from Techno Buffalo. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Thank you guys for watching. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. You'll be the first ones to know when new videos come up. We have a ton of stuff. We do unboxings, we do hands-on, reviews, cars, and everything in between that has to do with consumer electronics. We'd love to have you stick around.